Hello again, and welcome to Pearl Magazine. The World Health Organization says children and teenagers need at least 1 hour of physical activity every day. But in Hong Kong these days, any physical activity for any length of time is a tall order. Pearl Magazine's Tina Zhang met with students, teachers, and experts to find out how thinking outside the box can help young people stay active.
At this secondary school in Pak Fu Lam, classes have finished, but students are now learning a new game.
The sport of kabaddi has a history of 4,000 years and originated in India. It's popular in many different South Asian countries: Pakistan, India, Nepal, and even Sri Lanka. Since the 90s, it has become an Asian Olympics game.
Teacher Loya Kwang is a big fan of kabaddi, and he plays it with his students often.
The rules are simple: 7 players in each team, taking turns to attack and defend. Every time the attacker touches the defender, he gets 1 point. He can get 7 points after touching 7 players at a time. The defending side needs to stop a player from returning the middle line. If he successfully stops him, the attacker is out of the game. A game is about 15 minutes each half, and the team with the most points wins.
The game is proving popular with the students, especially among those with international backgrounds.
I'm Manveer. I'm Harman. We are from India.
They both played kabaddi back in their hometown when they were young.
I was playing football in Hong Kong, but I leave it because I like to play kabaddi. We are talking to each other. Kabaddi is the best game. Then we start playing this game.
When kabaddi was introduced to the school earlier this year, they were thrilled.
I came to secondary, and then Mr. Low, when he introduced kabaddi, I was like shocked. Like Hong Kong also have kabaddi. So then I got curiosity, and then asked him, can I join? And now I'm here. Now it's my favorite sport.
They're eager to teach other students how to play.
I feel proud of my nation. It's really a good thing when somebody plays a game from your country. I also play other countries' games like football, basketball. I'm studying in Hong Kong, and then during the lesson time, Chinese lesson time, we learn about many different festivals. So I do prefer like they also know about our festivals, our culture. Yeah.
Lo, who was an anthropology major in university, introduced kabaddi to the school.
Ethnic minority teenagers are happy because they've been living in Hong Kong for so long, and they could just learn Chinese culture. Seeing that Hong Kong people appreciate them and like to learn the hometown culture, they'll be more confident.
Government figures show there were more than 580,000 ethnic minority people living in Hong Kong in 2016, about 8% of the population. That's an increase of about 70% from 2006. One of the biggest ethnic groups is South Asians.
We can tell from the numbers that the population of South Asians is increasing. Although discrimination in Hong Kong is not very serious, we feel that everyone is in a parallel universe, and we all have our own lives. I feel that through sports, we can bond with everyone.
Ao Hui Kin is the principal of this school. He's been an educator for 15 years.
Around half of the ethnic minority students is from South Asia. How to promote their hometown culture? I think kabaddi should be one of the media.
The school has recently introduced some new games for the students to play.
Newly emerged sports is representing the different cultures, and our school is a multicultural school. Half of our students are from different countries. More than 15 countries are there, just like Britain, France, Germany, and also Philippines and India, etc. We'd like to provide more opportunities and also to let them know the culture of different countries. Not just the sports, and also the food and the living style.
Apart from kabaddi, the school is offering other new games. Tech ball, for example, originated in Hungary. It's a football-based sport played on a curved table. Hong Kong now has roughly 100 players. Oliver Miles is one of them.
I started playing it years ago. I used to play foot volley, and there's a lot of crossover in the sport. So it used to be used as a training tool in foot volley, and then a couple of guys from Hungary, turned it into a sport. And since it's been turned into a sport, the physical side of it is difficult, the technical side of it is difficult, so it's quite challenging. But it's also super fun as well. 1v1 or 2v2 is great.
The sport follows a points-based scoring format. Each set is played until a player or team reaches 12 points. It allows a maximum of 3 touches by any body part, except for the hands and arms, before returning the ball to the opponent. No physical contact is allowed between players or with the table.
So as long as it's accessible and fun, that's the main thing. And with tech ball, it is. You can do some games, you can do some drills. The first time that you ever play it, and you'll see your progression levels go up, and straight away you're having that fun, and you've got that tech ball addiction.
準備動作. Nice. Good job. Oh yeah.
Today, Oliver is visiting the school.
And try and get as many young people involved in the sport as well. For tech ball is a long-term aim to not just have a big pool of people playing, but to be competitive at it, certainly at a continental level.
Since it was created in 2012, the sport has quickly gained global popularity.
Since then, they've been making quite ambitious and progressive moves around the world, not just in Europe, to grow the sport. So it's now on the radar of the Olympic Committee of Asia, and hopefully it's going to be at the Beach Games when that takes place eventually. It's also been announced in Europe that it's going to be part of the European Games in the next cycle of that, which is in 2023.
Wait.
Kennedy introduced tech ball to Hong Kong last year. These days, he's trying to introduce more new sports to local schools.
Participation in traditional sports is not as good as we had hoped. Students who play well are already members of the school team. It's estimated that 20% of students are on the school team. And then the other 80% have no motivation to play any sports. How can we make all students like sports?
Kennedy has been a PE teacher for 12 years. He thinks these games can help students stay active.
Once, when I was teaching Dodge B, I asked the class to take a break. Some went to play basketball or football. But those who would usually sit there, drinking water and chatting, didn't rest that time. They continued to throw a frisbee, and I would tell they were happy. I realized that this is what the student needs, a sense of success.
Kennedy says the traditional sports that he usually teaches, like football, basketball, or table tennis, are not suitable for all students.
Many students have never tried to play football in their entire secondary school life, and some have never tried to score a three-pointer. But in newly emerged sports, it would be easier. You kick the ball, it lands on the table. You throw a frisbee and catch it. You would be happy.
Mulki is another newer game that requires less physical strength and is more suitable for everyone, regardless of age and ability.
I'm a social worker, and I've been introducing this game to different elderly centers and schools. It's easy to learn and people are interested in it. I try to teach some seniors, and after playing for 2 to 3 hours, I wouldn't be surprised if they can catch up with me.
Wan Hei has been playing Mulki since 2018. He's won some local matches.
Mulki is a combination of darts and bowling. Player tosses the throwing pin to get points. The first player to reach exactly 50 points wins the game. We have 12 shorter wooden pins. They have different numbers. Knocking over one pin scores the number of points marked on the pin. Knocking 2 or more pins scores the number of pins knocked over.
Wan Hei figures Hong Kong now has more than 200 Mulki players and coaches.
It was originally a game designed by a Finnish company. Since 1996, it was gradually developed into a sport and was introduced to Hong Kong in 2017 or 2018. Most international competitions were held in Finland, but in recent years, Some were organized in France or other European countries. In Asia, Japan and Hong Kong are two of the major players.
That's our show for this week. Join us again on Pearl Magazine next week. Bye for now.